तो कांग्रेस द्वारा प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करवामां आवी रही छे, आओ जोईए।
अशोक गहलोत
तो डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह गुजरातना प्रवासे छे। अमदावादमां सरदार पटेल स्मारक खाते तेमणे वेपारीओने संबोध्या हता। जीएसटी अने नोटबंधी जेवा मुद्दाओ तेमणे उठाव्या हता। टेक्स टेररिज्मनो मुद्दो तेमणे उठाव्यो हतो। तेमना संबोधनमां तेमणे वेपारीओने अने नाना वेपारीओने खास करीने नोटबंधी अने जीएसटीना कारणे केवी असर थई छे तेनी वातचीत करी हती। तो डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह ज्यारे अमदावाद अने गुजरातना प्रवासे छे त्यारे अमदावादमां तेमनी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस योजाई छे। थोड़ाक ज समयमां तेओ मीडियाने संबोधशे, तेमना प्रश्नोना जवाब आपशे। तो गुजरातमां चूंटणी नजीक छे त्यारे कोंग्रेसना दिग्गज नेताओ गुजरातनो प्रवास खेडी रह्या छे। त्यारे आजे पूर्व वडाप्रधान अने जाणीता अर्थशास्त्री डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह अमदावाद अने गुजरातना प्रवासे छे।
सरदार स्मारक ट्रस्टना हॉलमां भारतना अर्थतंत्र विषे आदरणीय डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंहजीए पोतानुं वक्तव्य रजू कर्या पछी आपनी वच्चे अहींया प्रेस मीट माटे आव्या छे। हूँ विनंती करूं परम आदरणीय डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह जी ने कि आपने संबोधित कर।
अशोक गहलोत जी, हर्ष सिंह सोलंकी जी, ladies and gentlemen of the press, Gujarat is blessed by having an exceptionally enterprising people. Gujaratis have gone out from the state to other parts of India and indeed all over the world, and they have done exceptionally well everywhere. In this context, I must say that I was really surprised when Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that the Congress and the Congress-led central government have always hated Gujaratis. Nothing can be farther from the truth. I realize that many things are said in election times, but when they are gross distortions, they need to be rebutted and corrected. The most famous Gujarati whom the Congress and indeed the whole nation and the world as a whole reveres is of course Mahatma Gandhi. His face is reproduced on every currency note in India, so everyone sees it every day. The next most famous Gujarati is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who enjoys a very special position in our freedom struggle and played a glorious role in the integration of our country after independence. Jawaharlal Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel worked hand in hand to consolidate the gains of freedom. Nothing is gained, as is often attempted by Modi ji to pit the two great leaders apart. I must also mention that Shri Morarji Desai was another great leader of the Congress party, though he left the party in 1969. I had the privilege of working with him when he was the Prime Minister in the Janata Party government in 1977 to 1979. I also worked very closely with Shri H.M. Patel, another distinguished son of Gujarat, who served as Finance Minister in the government of Shri Morarji Desai. Let me express my anguish at another remark Prime Minister Modi ji is fond of making. He has often said that nothing was done in the 70 years before he became the Prime Minister. Does he really mean that? I would ask him to consider the following few facts. 1. Life expectancy at independence was 31 years. It is now 71. Indians are living 40 years longer. Is this nothing? 2. Literacy was 18%. It is now 76%. 3. India did not have food to feed itself and depended on American food aid for many years. Now anguish at another remark Prime Minister Modi ji is fond of making. He has often said that nothing was done in the 70 years before he became the Prime Minister. Does he really mean that? I would ask him to consider the following few facts. 1. Life expectancy at independence was 31 years. It is now 71. Indians are living 40 years longer. Is this nothing? 2. Literacy was 18%. It is now 76%. 3. India did not have food to feed itself and depended on American food aid for many years. Now we have been self-sufficient and are even exporting food. From being viewed as a slow-growing economy, we have for many years now been regarded as one of the fastest growing developing countries. We have a long way to go in many areas. I am not asserting that all these achievements are only because of the Congress party. They are first and foremost the achievements of the Indian people. Governments have helped and indeed played a crucial role in many areas, and Congress governments have done their bit. We have had many non-Congress governments in the states, and we have had both Congress-led coalition and BJP-led coalitions in the center. They have all contributed to building this great country. I wish that the Prime Minister would find more dignified ways of impressing crowds and seeking their votes without resorting to statements which denigrate our country. I must also point out that while denigrating the past, the Prime Minister also tends to exaggerate what he will do in the future. He was recently quoted in the press as saying that India will become a developed country by 2022. I would be the happiest person in the world if he can deliver that. But is he really aware of what he implies? Let me point out that our per capita income is now about $5,000 based on what is called purchasing power parity. At the lower end of the developed countries, we have Greece with a per capita income of around $25,000. That is 5 times our per capita income level. To increase our income 5-fold in the 5 years, we would have to achieve a growth rate of 35% per year. No country has ever done this. Is Modi ji promising to do that? As regards the economic performance, I would like to look at what are the achievements of the NDA and what were the achievements of the UPA. Let us consider what the BJP government has actually done. It came to power in 2014 at a time when the country was going through a slowdown. My government was much criticized for this slowdown, and we accepted that there was indeed a slowdown. We explained that some of this was due to global factors and some due to our inability to resolve domestic problems. What has happened to the growth rate of the economy since the NDA came to power? In the 10 years of UPA 1 and 2, when I was the Prime Minister, we produced 7.8% GDP growth rate on average. This includes the slowdown in the last 2 years of our government. When the present government took over, they said they would take growth to 8 to 10%. Modi ji so far has produced an average of only 7.3% in the first 3 years, judging by their own figures. What is worrying is that growth has been falling for several quarters. It was only 5.7% in the first quarter of 2017-18. Some experts have pointed out that 5.7% may be temporarily low point due to the disruptive effects of demonetization and the anticipatory destocking because of the GST, and therefore growth will pick up later on. The RBI forecasts that growth in the coming year will pick up to 6.7%. Others predict lower levels, but they all predict a pickup. However, even if it reaches 6.7%, Modi ji's 4-year average growth rate will be only 7.1%. To equal the UPA's 10-year average, the economy will have to grow at 10.6% in the 5th year. I would be happy if this were to happen, but frankly, I do not think it will. Government spokesmen are talking confidently of reaching 8% growth in 2018-19. Let us see what happens. But even if they succeed, the 5-year average will be only 7.2%. It will still be much lower than what the UPA achieved in its 10 years. Ladies and gentlemen, sustained revival of growth requires considerable increase in private investment year after year, which unfortunately has been trending down in the last 3 years of the BJP rule. I hope that the Prime Minister will take a good look at the reality on the ground and identify the critical constraints that are depressing the investor sentiment and tackle them head on. This requires a frank admission of problems and getting out of the culture of constant self-praise. I now turn to demonetization. The demonetization which the government continues to present as a major reform is an example of ill-thought-out action with serious negative effect. It was thrust upon the economy with not enough prior thought about its likely impact and undesirable side effects. The government has still not made a fresh assessment of costs and benefits, if any, of the move. The move was expected to immobilize piles of unaccounted cash. The Attorney General told the Supreme Court that 25% of the cash with the public would be made valueless. It was also said that the government would then be able to present the same amount of money without inflationary consequences and distribute it to ordinary people. As we know, 99% of the cash with the public was deposited back with the bank and can now be withdrawn as legitimate new money. No money has been distributed to the poor as promised. It is obvious that those who have unaccounted cash have managed to get it deposited in bank, perhaps under Benami name. The government says they will pursue all those who made large deposits in banks after demonetization. In other words, the taxman will be unleashed on these individuals. They will have to prove their innocence. Many farmers who are not subject to income tax will have to prove that their cash is from agricultural income. Informal sector industries and traders in mandis who work on a cash basis must have deposited the cash they had in good faith. Are they now going to be investigated by tax officials? Most people now agree that the government grossly underestimated the inconveniences, hardships, and disruption caused by sucking large amounts of cash out of the system and not being able to replace it in time. Actually, it took several months to get the system remonetized. We have seen how much disruption was caused. Farmers selling their crops found fewer buyers able to pay in cash, and they received lower prices as a result. Many small businesses had to close down and lay off labor. I hear that a lot of labor had to migrate back from Surat to their home states. I have spent a lot of time on demonetization because it worries me that in a world where economic policy is becoming increasingly complex, we as a country are not developing a culture where policy options are critically assessed and criticism offered or listened to take corrective action. If leaders only want to be praised, they will hear nothing but praise. This is surely not a recipe to promote vikas. I now come to GST, where implementation is causing problems. I agree that a well-designed GST would have been a genuine reform.